the White House's escalating trade war rhetoric, characterized by the threat of substantial levies, stands in stark contrast to mounting concerns about its potential to destabilize the U.S. economy. President Trump, unwavering in his stance, has reiterated the possibility of imposing tariffs of approximately 25% on foreign automobiles within a matter of weeks. This aggressive approach, despite warnings from economists and business leaders, presents a significant risk to the nation's economic stability. While a series of announced tariffs remain unimplemented, the Trump administration continues to press forward with its protectionist agenda. The proposed duties on imports from both Canada and Mexico have faced repeated delays, underscoring the internal debate surrounding this controversial policy. Similarly, the recently announced modifications to steel and aluminum tariffs, while seemingly less severe, will not come into effect until next month, further delaying the full impact of the administration's trade strategy. Additionally, the promised wave of reciprocal tariffs, also announced last week, is not scheduled to commence until April, providing a temporary reprieve but ultimately maintaining the looming threat. This strategic delay, however, does little to alleviate the anxieties of business executives who have consistently voiced their apprehension regarding the long-term consequences of the administration's tariff strategy. A prominent voice amongst these concerns is Jim Farley, CEO of Ford, who recently warned at a New York investor conference that a 25% tariff on imports from Mexico and Canada would inflict a hole in the U.S. industry that we have nev. His statement underscores the gravity of the situation and the potentially devastating impact of the administration's protectionist policies on various sectors of the U.S. economy. The uncertainty surrounding the implementation timeline allows for continued speculation, but the overall message is clear. The Trump administration's trade war strategy, while intended to bolster the domestic economy, carries a significant risk of causing irreparable damage. This calculated gamble, despite the vocal opposition from both domestic and international stakeholders, remains a defining characteristic of the current administration's economic policy. The potential repercussions, both immediate and long-term, continue to dominate economic discussions, highlighting the significant uncertainty and volatility permeating the global marketplace. The administration's justification for these tariffs, often framed as a necessary measure to protect American jobs and industries, continues to be fiercely debated, with critics pointing to the potential for retaliatory tariffs from other nations and the likely negative impact on American consumers through increased prices. The ongoing standoff underscores a fundamental divergence in economic philosophies, pitting the administration's protectionist stance against the prevailing consensus among economists who advocate for free trade and international cooperation. The ultimate consequences of this approach remain uncertain, but the potential for significant economic disruption is undeniable. The sheer scale of the potential economic fallout, particularly in industries deeply integrated with global supply chains, has prompted widespread concern among experts and policymakers alike. The long-term implications of this policy remain to be seen, but the current trajectory suggests a prolonged period of uncertainty and potential economic volatility.